It's SHSU with Blake Childress. Hosted by Blake Childress. Written and created by Blake Childress. SHSU.
Hi, my name is Blake Childress, and welcome to SHSU, where I talk to students like you about themselves, their majors, and other groups, clubs, and activities that you can participate in today on campus. I'm here with my good friend Nicholas McKee, who a lot of others know as Nico, and you're a film and TV production student, right?
That's right, yeah.
And you've been just, even in school, out of school, producing lots of films.
As many as I can, yeah.
Yeah, and it's motivational. For me, it's inspiring me a lot to participate more at school with more film projects. I'm helping you out with some of your films, and it's great. I'm happy that you're on the show and we can talk. And just thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, while I know you, our audience may not. So, first of all, can you just enlighten them, let them know who you are?
Sure. Hey, my name is Nico, as he introduced me. I am a director and producer, and I am the co-founder of a student-led production company called Some Like It Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So we produce a lot of local films and shorts. We've done music videos, what have you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And how long have you had that company?
It hasn't been around for too long. We started it shortly after the Prison City Film Festival that happened in February, so it's been around 9 months.
Nice. And it's been just fun, working with your friends,
It's
having a good time?
been fun working with friends, but it's been stressful every other instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting a company from the ground up is no easy task, and that, while doing school, was a bit of like a foolish choice.
It's
but
chaotic.
Yeah, it's very chaotic. But at the same time, it's a challenge, and one that everybody on the team is willing to take on, thankfully. So
Yeah.
we're doing all right. Yeah.
Awesome. So, with you being a film student, I want to ask, why personally did you choose the film degree rather than other degrees here at SAM?
Well, it just made sense to me, mostly because it's either that or architecture, and I'm not very good at math. So
Yeah.
No.
It's a deal breaker.
No, yeah, growing up, I wanted to do architecture very foolishly again,
Yeah.
because I enjoyed playing Minecraft, and I thought that's all there was
That's
to
all
it.
architecture is?
Yeah, but as soon as I learned that there was, math and science involved, I sort of
You just
called it
dipped
quits.
out.
And, I mean, I always enjoyed movie making and watching films, with my family or with my friends. So it just made sense for me. I've always been sort of like a creative person, and this was just my outlet.
Yeah, it's just
So.
a more understandable
Yeah.
craft that you can sort of hone
Right.
in. Yeah. Well, that's great. And I'm similar. Like, I remember back in school, I was thinking at one point of being like a geologist. I was
Yeah.
interested in like just the history of how like rocks can tell you the history of our world and stuff
See,
like that.
I took geology, I think, like 2 or 3 semesters ago,
yeah?
thinking that it'd be an easy class,
Mm-hmm.
and then I learned that there was chemistry involved. So you see, there's like an ongoing pattern in my life where I do things and then I find out it's a little bit complicated. And
So I'll just go back to film.
yeah,
That's what I really
I'll go
wanna
back
do.
to film. So that's sort of like my home base always. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit about it, but with your film studio, Some Like It, just elaborate a bit more, a bit more on the history, a bit more of just your relationship with your friends founding it, and just tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure. Yeah, Some Like It Studios. Myself, Amna Rahman, Michaela Hoover, and Abigail Robinson, all of us were interns at the Prison City Film Festival, which I mentioned a bit ago. And that happened here in Huntsville.
Yeah.
So highly recommend. That's a little plug. We were interns for that, and that's how all of us met. And all of us had also submitted, to some extent, something to the festival. And we got to see each other's works. We got to work closely together. And on top of that, we were all in the same cinematography course here at SAM. So we knew what we were like working on set. We knew what we were like creatively, and we knew what we were like socially, because we would go out to eat and stuff like that. And so it made sense that we all shared the same passion. We all love filmmaking, and like as filmmakers, our degree is only going to get us so far.
Yeah.
And our careers start as soon as we want to be filmmakers. So we decided all together, let's start a studio, let's make our own productions. We don't have to wait until the end of college to gather projects and do things. So we put our heads together, and this is what we started. And,
You just made a jump start.
we made a jump start. Started out just saying, hey, we'll make a music video for you for free to like local artists. Made our first one, and then we were able to show it to the next artist and say, hey, we're charging this much. And now we're this far, shooting short films and documentaries and what have you.
And you guys all have like your own like little roles with your productions, right?
Yeah, so that's like one of the biggest challenges as a company that's student-led. None of us are really business majors, or we don't know what we're doing, so we're sort of figuring it out. We clash heads a lot, which is to be expected. So we sort of have meetings. We try to make it weekly, where we distinguish each other's roles, and so we came up with a department head system, because we do have more people, more coworkers than we started with. So somebody will take over like social media. Somebody will take over graphics. That would be me. And then we have other people taking over like our YouTube channel and etc.
Just switching out, just making sure you guys are all familiar.
So we all play to our strengths, but we also leave room for overlap and still collaboration. So we're not strictly splitting everything up.
Before, you mentioned with your roles in filmmaking, you mentioned directing and producing. And I just want to ask, why specifically those roles over things like being an editor or a cinematographer?
I've always sort of gravitated towards leadership roles, I think. And even if I'm not particularly wanting to be in a leadership role, I think other people sort of will nudge me in that direction naturally. And I like to see my vision be realized. I like being able to work collaboratively to put what's in my head out into the world. And so I tend to talk to people, normal conversations. And even if I'm doing a role like a cinematographer or something like that, I find myself, to my own fault, like injecting myself into those like leadership positions, which is something I'm working on, I will admit. But I do like to have those roles where I am able to guide a media format into something that I'm proud of.
It's just an outlet for your leadership capabilities.
Right, yeah. And I mean, I'll edit, I'll do whatever. Like if people need help and they want me to like be an AC, be a DP, be whatever, an editor even, I'll help out however I can. But they have to expect me to want to give my opinion at some point. So.
It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
So you're making a film for the Common Reader Film Festival happening
A few,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for the theme of this year's festival being overcoming a disadvantage or obstacle, what would you say has been the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome in becoming a filmmaker and co-founding your company?
The biggest disadvantage has been one that's been sort of like a running theme throughout my life, which is time management. I will say these past 2 semesters since I started the company, I've been so driven to make things work that my time management skills have skyrocketed comparatively. They're not the best they could be,
but it's better.
But it's better.
Yeah.
So that's been my biggest challenge. I took a lot of production classes this semester, so I have to make a lot of films. I have, I believe, 3 films that I have to submit to the Common Reader. One of them which you're actually cast in, so you already know about that one. And we have that one. We have one for my moving image aesthetics class, which is currently in pre-production. And then I have one for my advanced editing course. So
nice.
Jumbling all of that plus outside projects, aka my company, or our
What you're
company.
doing, yeah.
Everything that I'm doing outside of work, trying to find a job and stuff like that. It's all
It's
a
all
lot.
balancing.
Yeah.
You know, you've got all these things you're trying, and it's ultimately benefiting you over time. Right?
I think so. I think like I'll be able to take a step back and see everything that I've done at the end of the year and be proud of where I am. So.
Ultimately, yeah. So, all the best directors have their own sort of trademarks. You know, Wes Anderson's got his symmetrical framing. Quentin Tarantino's got a snappy dialogue and his trademark violence. What do you say, as a director, would you say is your trademark that you rely on?
I think that, you know, again, this is still the start of my career. So while I have a little bit of background, I never really thought I had a developed style.
Okay.
And it's an ongoing process, you know. I'm filming things, I have things that I like doing, and I'll do those things. And I think that sort of adds to my style. I don't think it's a style that you could see on a screen. Like, obviously, these are very iconic directors who you could see a frame and you would understand that it's them.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything like that yet. I will say some common tropes that I like is I really enjoy shots that have backlight, which means you have like that little like ring
Little outline,
around
yeah.
like the character. I enjoy that. I love haze. So anything that I can, I will haze the room up so you can see the light streaks. I really, I guess my style is just making everything look romanticized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like hyper reality rather than
Yeah,
just
yeah.
capturing reality as it is.
It's almost like everything's dreamlike.
Yeah.
I don't like. There'll still be narrative films that are very like much solidified and grounded in reality, but very dreamlike and very exaggerated.
Yeah.
Just feeling.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I'm very similar. I've been trying to figure out my own sort of style with some of the last films I've been making. But yeah, it's with these sorts of directors, they have years of experience, and you know, gradually we'll figure ourselves out over time. You know, so going on, you know, directors that I've been mentioning, who is a director that you think you want to try and emulate, that you aspire to be in your career?
I don't ever want to copy another director, so emulating a different director, maybe not so much, but directors that I look up to because they're so stylistically different.
Yeah.
I really look up to Edgar Wright.
Oh yeah.
I think his use of like soundtrack, the whip zooms, and all of that, which I think Tarantino does a little bit of as well. All of that are things that I like to implement here and there because I don't want to be, you know, Edgar Wright's, you know, follow up.
Yeah, don't copy. You know?
Exactly. I do really enjoy that style, and I think like it's very unique. Denis Villeneuve is another one. I can't. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. He did Whiplash. More than anything, I really look up to the story of how it came to be. You know, submitting the 10-minute short for Whiplash at Sundance, and then being so well received that he gets a whole feature film made about it.
Oh yeah.
I think that is like one of the best stories.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of It's I think that was Damien Chazelle for Whiplash, La La Land.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of.
He's Denis Villeneuve. He was the guy that did Dune.
Good Will Hunting, I believe is.
Oh no, Goodwill Hunting was Gus Van Sant. He made that movie.
Gus Van Sant made that?
I believe.
Oh,
I could
I'm
be
totally
wrong.
off.
But no, yeah.
Any name that doesn't sound like that has some sort of pronunciation, I always just
you just get them mixed up. Yeah, you know,
but
it happens.
Whiplash, yes. I'm talking about Damien
Chazelle.
Chazelle. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, personally for me, he's also a great director. That's just like you said with the whole submitting a short film and trying to get it made into something more. I aspire to be similar to that as well. So you mentioned a little bit about films that you've been working on. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of those films?
Yeah. So I don't know how much I can say because it is still sort of, it hasn't been announced yet. Yeah. But I guess I could make a little announcement. We are shooting a documentary. We're partnering up with another production company as well as a nonprofit organization here in Huntsville called Building for Bats. And we are shooting a documentary based on a warehouse that we have right next to the prison unit, the Walls unit here. that is broken down. Well, not broken down, but abandoned, and houses 1.2 million bats.
Ooh.
The city is currently trying to tear down that building, and we're shooting a documentary about what's at stake, what would happen if you were to tear down that building, or, everything that's at stake in terms of ecology, economy, agriculture, politics even.
Yeah.
Everyone that's at play, we're trying to interview, we're trying to learn about the history of Huntsville, everything packed into one condensed documentary.
Yeah,
So.
that sounds really interesting. I can't imagine a million bats just flying around Huntsville.
Well, it happens every night. Every night at around 8 p.m., all of them flood out to go and find little bugs to eat. So it could be like a tourism event.
Man, spooky season, I guess.
Spooky season, but it's year round. I mean, they migrate around this time, but only half of them stay.
Yeah.
So
And
still, if you
sounds
wanna
like a
visit.
very interesting documentary.
It should be. I'm very excited about it.
Cool. With all the films that you've been shooting at SAM or even out of SAM, what's been your favorite memory?
The best memories I feel like are always after shooting, or like during the shoot days, but not particularly while we're shooting. I think it's just like that communion between people, or just like that camaraderie that's built, with like people that you cast or something like that.
Yeah.
We shot a music video for Max Diaz this past June, and during that music video, towards the end, we had like a rap party. Everybody was on their way out and stuff. I grabbed a guitar, and the lead actress started singing, and so we had like a bit of like a live performance going while everybody was just sitting around, and that was I felt like a very bonding experience for everybody, and definitely like a core memory as well. So it was a lot of fun for everybody. Just little moments like that,
Yeah, getting closer with your crew,
Yeah.
getting to know people more.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if it's not actually making the movie, it's always just.
And even still, like, I had known that actress for 3 days. I mean, not including like the initial interview, because this was like a casted progress. And it wasn't until that day that like we all like really bonded. Well, we bonded throughout the whole experience, but that really solidified our friendship. And I mean, we still keep in touch now. So
It's great.
yeah.
So it's tradition every time a film student comes onto the show. I gotta ask you, what are your top 5 favorite films of all time?
Okay. My top 5, very classic. Back to the Future, number 1.
It's great.
Shawshank Redemption. Good Will Hunting, which
Yeah.
I was talking about earlier. I mixed up the director's name.
You're getting it.
Whiplash, obviously,
Great.
and 7.
Ooh.
Yeah, 7 is a
Nice.
great movie.
You got a great variety of directors.
Yeah. I realize all those directors are mainly men, but if I were to pick like a female director, Sofia Coppola is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Too.
Lost in Translation.
Yeah, Lost in Translation.
Great.
Yeah.
So, because you're a director, you've got all your film experience, we're actually going to do some trivia right now. It's going to be more director focused, just for you to have a bit more of a leg up with your trivia.
Okay.
So, the prize for today's game is this Sam Houston beanie. It's
Perfect.
We're getting into fall. It's getting colder. You might as well get yourself a nice beanie.
That's good. I was freezing myself on the way over here, so.
Maybe you'll get it.
Yeah.
So 4 questions. Not like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You're not going to get $1 million. All we got's this beanie.
Yeah, it's
But
worth $1 million.
it's worth $1 million alone. So you ready for trivia?
I don't know, man. I butchered those directors' names, so if it's anything like that,
Hey,
I don't
man,
know.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
So, question number 1. Who directed the 1999 film Bringing Out the Dead? Was it A, Stanley Kubrick, B, Steven Spielberg, C, Quentin Tarantino, or D, Martin Scorsese?
Bringing Out the Dead. I haven't seen that movie.
It's like I think it's a movie with Nick Cage, and he's like a EMT.
Do I get lifelines for this?
Unfortunately, we
Okay.
need to put that in the script, but
I'll go with What were the options again?
It was A, Stanley Kubrick,
Yeah.
B, Steven Spielberg, C, Quentin Tarantino, or D, Martin Scorsese.
I'll go with Martin Scorsese.
Correct.
Okay.
Good job. Question number 2. Which of these films was directed by Christopher Nolan? Was it A, 2001: A Space Odyssey, B, Interstellar, C, Batman from 2022, or D, The Illusionist?
Oh, it was Interstellar.
Correct.
You were trying to trip me up with the Batman one. I was like,
that's
2022. I had to
We're
think
getting
about what
tricky
year
with
that
these
is. Yeah.
games. So, question number 3. This is actually, we haven't done a true or false question yet on this
Okay.
show. So, question 3. George Lucas directed Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. True or false?
What episode is that?
That was episode 5.
No, he did not.
Correct.
I know
awesome. You know that in the brain.
Yes, I know that one. Off the dome.
Question 4. Which of these films did James Cameron not direct? Was it A, The Terminator, B, Titanic, C, Alien, or D, True Lies?
He did not direct Alien, I believe.
Correct. That was Ridley Scott.
Yes.
So, you have won this Sam Houston beanie. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be so warm now.
You're even wearing on set. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not taking off my cap. It's a bad hair day today.
That's how it goes sometimes. Well, we're going to have to cut to commercial, but after the commercial break. Oh, okay. Well, we're having a bit of technical difficulties, but in terms of...
Proud son of hardworking immigrant parents, Eric Rodas chose to serve his country. A father, a soldier, and now a college graduate. He proved that circumstances have nothing to do with your outcome. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Eric determine their future. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education. Third-generation Bearcat Tacey Webb roped her way to a national championship through her hard work and fearless dedication. Trading her saddle for nursing scrubs, Tacey set her sights in another arena, a place where she can champion the needs of others. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Tacey reach their championship potential. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
We're back. So, in terms of, like, we talked about choosing the film program over other programs here at SAM. What made you choose Sam Houston's film program over other colleges like UT, Stephen F. Austin, or Texas State?
So, admittedly, I did initially apply at UT.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, I didn't get it. It's
Things
a very
happen.
competitive field.
Yeah.
And I knew that this course was up and coming. I read up about a ton of it, and so it seemed very promising. And it has been quite a good program for me. I have obviously met my coworkers. Excuse me. I've also learned from professionals directly. I've been involved in many productions thanks to Sam Houston. That it's gotten to the point where, like, I don't even think I would have that experience if I was at UT Austin. I think that this is a more personal experience and a very, like, closely knit community where I can walk down the hall and I'll recognize, like, 3 people and they'll update me on, like, their productions and we'll talk about mine. And so it's been a very good experience so far. So I have no complaints with that. And on top of that, I really think that the Sam Houston Film and Television course is slowly building up to be what the Radio Film Television course at UT Austin is like. If not, it could even be better at some point. You know?
You know, it's just a close-knit family. We all kind of know each other.
Yeah, I think, like, the thing about, like, the UT Austin one is that their selling point is Matthew McConaughey, you know? You know, they got him as a teacher, and they sort of use him as a selling point. But I know a few students that are in his script to, I think it's like script to screen.
Script to screen class.
they haven't even seen him or met him. I think it's like all online, or like TAs run the whole program and stuff like that. So obviously he has his own career that he's taking care of, and I don't think he really has the time to be a teacher. So, you know, is it really worth going to a school solely because of like one person, or do you want that like tight-knit experience? So
Yeah, I remember hearing somebody talking about the film program here at SAM. It's like we're trying to be the pioneers of this program,
Right.
with it being an up-and-coming program, which, yeah, I mean, it makes it a lot more appealing.
I mean, with that said, I do have my criticisms, obviously, right? I think we definitely need a course in lighting. Not saying that the classes don't teach us that, but I feel like if we had a class specifically for lighting, all of our productions would go up.
Just more classes over more things, rather
over
than
more
generalizing
things, CGI, VFX, all that stuff. It's not taught here, but it definitely could be if people showed enough interest. I think that it's something that if the students get together and talk to the department, it could be a possibility for future students. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, out of all the classes that you've taken here at SAM, it could be film, not even film. What has been your favorite class and why?
Ooh, that's hard to say because this is the first time in my life where I've really enjoyed almost every single one of my classes. And I think it's because I finally feel like I'm doing what I love, which is filmmaking, right? Bill's classes are always fun. He taught me production management, and even though that's like a textbook class where there's a lot of reading involved and a lot of like theory or just like the process, I really enjoyed applying that process, and it's something that I've applied to my own projects a lot. You know, everything from like script breakdowns to like castings to absolutely everything. You know, even like down to like the color schemes that normally are used for script breakdowns or line scripts and you name it.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that class. I really also enjoyed all of Wojtek's classes. I took cinematography, like I mentioned earlier, and that's where I met, you know, the other co-founders of Some Like It Studios.
It's pretty important.
Not only that, but I saw everybody's work get better in that class.
Yeah.
So it wasn't only my own improvement. I saw my friends and my coworkers improve in their craft, and it was not only very inspiring, but also very rewarding towards the end. So
yeah, you know, that's really all you could really ask for with a film program at a university.
Of course.
So, what is something that you personally have taken away being a student here at SAM? Like, it could just be something that you've learned, a skill, or...
Yeah, what I will say is filmmakers, we have a very unorthodox career path. Yeah. And it was made very clear to me within, you know, syllabus week of last semester, which is all about jobs in this industry. They all come from just being kind and being a good person, but that's not it. That's not all there is to it, you know? There's also a whole nother side, which is how do you get started in that industry? And the answer is you start right now.
Yeah.
Like other careers, you know, you become a doctor, you go to school, you get a degree, and then you go to school again and get a different degree, and then you can get jobs at, you know, starting off at the very bottom, maybe an intern or something like that, a nurse, something, and then you eventually become a surgeon, right? With filmmaking, once you get that diploma that you know you're working towards, there's only a very limited amount of jobs that you can get with that diploma. It's more so about, if you want to work on a set, they'll ask you, okay, what have you done? Like, what work can you show me? So the earlier you get started, you get to go through all the bad stuff, you know, all the bad, you know, films that you're going to make.
Yeah.
You get to improve and learn from those now, and then come out with a diploma and a lot of skill, you know, very good films.
Yeah.
And that's what will get you a job. That experience, your career starts now because you learn with experience in film. It's not like you have to study and then you'll understand. It's you do and then you'll understand, you know? So that's sort of my motto, is do now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing now.
Yeah, you know, it's just sort of even though we're technically in film school, like putting it into practice and
Yeah.
getting used to it is important.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to graduate and you have no idea what you're even doing. you
And
know?
I think the school does a good job at giving us enough collaborative projects where we get to work with other people as well. But it's not only about that, you know, like I think that there should be an element of wanting to do it outside of school as well.
Yeah.
Because only then can you show that you're really passionate about it. You're not just busy with schoolwork, and you're not just doing it because you have homework. You're doing it because you want to,
Yeah.
right? It's a passion. And I think the more people that see that, every single classmate that you have that's in this program is going to go on to become a film professional to some extent, you know? One of them might be the next CEO of Disney. That's an exaggeration, but it could happen,
Yeah.
you know? And if they know you, they remember you from college saying, oh, this person was really passionate about their craft. They're going to think about you. And when you ask them for a job, they're going to be like, hell yeah, I'll take you on, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, just small little business opportunities. Not only are you building friendships, but you're also building your career. So it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Okay. So, if someone asks you for advice on making their own films and how to start up their own company like you have, what would you say for advice?
Just get the ball rolling, you know? Just do it. Do it
Yeah.
now, and then figure it out as you go. That's my biggest word of advice. It's like I was saying, your career starts now, so
Just
you
do
got to
it.
make it happen now.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we're about to wrap up here. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we get out of here?
I would just like to say, follow Some Like It Studios. We're constantly pumping out, you know, content and stuff. So, you know, not everybody likes it, but we make sure that you love it. So that's
It's just how it goes, you know.
that's how it goes.
Well, I want to thank you, Nico, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I want to, first of all, thank the crew for helping us make this show. You know, without them, this whole thing really wouldn't be possible. I want to thank you guys all for watching this show. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of SHS.